All right, a shalom. First and foremost, I just want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakhakwadash. All right, double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, and peace and salutations unto the elect. All right, and in this lesson, all right, will be another edition of Basic Bible Milk Question. All right, and today's question will be, all right, who are the Gentiles talking about in the New Testament? All right, who were those Gentiles talked about in the New Testament? All right, and just to answer the question right off the back, all right, majority of the times when the word Gentile is mentioned in the New Testament, it's talking about a Israelite foreigner. All right, now you do have in some cases where it's talking about Gentile, it's talking about an actual heathen, but in most cases, all right, it's talking about the Israelite foreigner. All right, depending on the context. Just like in this context in 1 Corinthians 12:2. All right, but we're going to get into that, And this is what these Christians, they don't understand history. All right. They don't understand that the Israelites, all right, the Israelite foreigners, all right, being called Gentiles, these Israelites, all right, were following after the way of the heathens. All right, and they became Gentiles, all right, through Hellenization. All right, started with Antiochus or Antiochus, or however you want to say it. All right, and that's written in First Maccabees, all right, with the fourth chapter. Okay, and I also have an article here, all right, to back that up too. But we're going to get into that soon. All right, but these Christians, they overlook that, so they overlook the history. All right, and they just automatically assume that when it's talking about a Gentile, it's automatically talking about a heathen. No, it's talking about an Israelite, all right, who was foreign, all right, of the Israelite way, all right, and it was following after the customs of the heathen. All right, they were basically acting like the heathen. Okay, though they were still Israelites, from one of the 12 tribes of Israel. So knowing that, all right, let's get straight into the scriptures. All right, so this is 1 Corinthians 12:2. It says, "Ye know that ye were Gentiles." All right, and how do you stop becoming a Gentile? All right, it says were. All right, so that's talking about past tense. All right, so you were a Gentile. All right, and how do you stop becoming Gentiles? A Gentile, slack here. All right, by coming back unto your true identity. All right, being an Israelite. Okay, following after the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. All right, and calling upon the names of Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. All right, that's how you stop becoming a Gentile. All right, and heathen. All right, and we were Gentiles too. All right, us believers of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, we were once Gentiles. All right, we were following after the American way. All right, Americanized. Eating pork, had dreads, long hair. All these heathenistic things that we were doing. All right, wicked things that we were doing. But now that we learn this truth, all right, and come unto the obedience of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, then that's when we stop becoming Gentiles. Okay? So it says, "Ye know that ye were Gentiles," all right, "carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led." All right? So we know that Israel, went off into idolatry. Okay? And also, Israel was also Hellenized. But we're going to get into that in First Maccabees, the first chapter. All right, but Israel, all right, was going through a Hellenization period. All right, with Antiochus. Then matter of fact, we're just going to go into it. I don't have to speak on it. We can just go into it. But in 1 Corinthians 12:2, this is talking about an Israelite foreigner. All right, he's talking to Israelites. Okay, not heathens. All right, so let's get in First Maccabees 1. We start at 44, and I got this in the GNT. All right, it says, "Antiochus now issued a decree that all nations in his empire should abandon their own customs and become one people. All the Gentiles and even many of the Israelites, right, submitted to this decree. Even, matter of fact, even before that, even before Antiochus started to Hellenize the Israelites, you even had wicked Israelites who went into the customs of the heathen. All right, it says here, here we go. It says, verse 11, First Maccabees 1 and 11. At that time, there appeared in the land of Israel a group of traitorous Jews, all right, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, all right, Israelites, who had no regard for the law and who had a bad influence on many of our people. They said, let's come to terms with the Gentiles. All right, this is talking about the heathens. And this is in the GNT, by the way, so it's going to say it different in the KJV. It may say heathen in the KJV. Matter of fact, I think it does say heathen in the KJV. But it says, let's come to terms with the Gentiles, for our refusal to associate with them has brought us nothing but trouble. All right, so you even had, even before Antiochus started to Hellenize the Jews, all right, you had Israelites that were following after the way of the heathen. All right, so let's go back, all right, to the Hellenization of the Israelites. All right, so it says, Antiochus now issued a decree that all nations in his empire should abandon. Okay. Yeah, Antiochus. Well, I'm all over the place. Antiochus now issued a decree that all nations in his empire should abandon their own customs and become one people. All the Gentiles, even many of the Israelites, submitted to this decree. All right, so you had heathens, all right, other heathen nations following after the way of the Greeks, and you had Israelites also, following after the way of the Greeks. That's what Antiochus wanted. All right, the Israelites submitted to this decree. They adopted the official pagan religion, offered sacrifices to idols. Wait, didn't we just read that in 1 Corinthians? 1 Corinthians 12 and 2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles carried away into these dumb idols, even as ye were led. Right. So, the Israelites, all right, during this time, all right, were Hellenized. All right. And then they had kids, and then their kids had kids, and they were basically, their kids, ended up following after, all right, idols, all right, following after the way of the heathen. Okay. So these Gentiles, talked about here, in 1 Corinthians 12 and 2, Israelite foreigners are the descendants, probably the descendants, all right, of the people who were Hellenized in the first Maccabees, the first chapter. All right. So it says, all the Gentiles and even many of the Israelites submitted to this decree. They adopted the official pagan religion and offered sacrifices to idols and no longer observed the Sabbath. All right, the king also sent messengers with a decree to Jerusalem and all the towns of Judea, ordering the people to follow the customs that were foreign to the country. He ordered them not to offer burnt offerings, grain offerings, or wine offerings in the temple, and commanded them to treat the Sabbaths as Sabbaths and festivals as ordinary work days. All right, that's going off. That's contrary to the scriptures. All right, so if you just go down, it's talking about how, basically Antiochus didn't want the Israelites to worship, be an Israelite anymore. All right, to worship Yahweh Bashim Shai anymore. All right, basically become as the heathen. All right, you read down. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. I just wanted to get the point where if you didn't obey this, all right, decree, that you would be put to death. All right, it says, verse 50, the penalty for disobeying the king's decree was death. So if you were to, really, worship, all right, Yahweh Bashim Shai, all right, and to do the customs, of a typical Israelite, or you would be put to death. Okay, he wanted, all right, the Israelites, all right, to basically follow the way of the Greeks. And that majority, some of the Israelites did follow after the way of the Greeks, man. All right, they became Gentiles. All right, following after the customs of the heathen. All right, and this is history right here. This proves, all right, that the Gentiles that are talked about in the New Testament are Israelite foreigners, man. All right, that were made Gentiles, man, through Hellenization, man. All right, but that's why they tried to take out that's why they took out the Apocrypha out of the Bible, man. All right, because this is history right here. All right, correct history right here. That proves, all right, that the Israelites were made into Gentiles, man. All right, they were heathens. They were basically following after the ways of the heathen, man. Okay, so I wanted to get another proof here in JewishHistory.org. All right, and this is where is this? The Hell in Hellenism. All right, and if you go down to the Hellenists, it says about the year 200 BCE, there arose among the Jewish population a group called Misyavinim, Venom, something like that, meaning Hellenists, who adopted Greek culture as a way of life to such a degree that almost invariably they gave up their Jewish culture and identity. All right, we know it's not, there's no such thing as a Jewish. All right, but it's really, the Israelites. Okay, the Jews, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right, so the Israelites gave up their Israelite culture and identity. All right, what followed after the way of Greek culture. Hellenized, they got Hellenized. Okay, it says, for instance, the Greeks were great believers in nudity. Their sports were done in the nude. Their bathhouses were attended in the nude. In the ancient world, the Jews and some Arabs were the only people who were circumcised. Thus, if you wanted to be a good Greek, you were embarrassed to go to the bathhouse or participate in sports. Consequently, Hellenized Jews underwent painful operations, right? Hellenized Jews that were then converted to the pagan religion. All right, the Greek culture. All right, Hellenized Jews underwent painful operations at a time with minimum anesthetics to restore their foreskin and appear Greek. All right, this is history right here. All right, the Israelites, all right, as it says here, the Jews, all right, the Israelites were being Hellenized. All right, if you didn't get down with the king's decree, all right, of associating yourself with the Greek culture and following after the Greek culture, all right, if you didn't do this, you were put to death. So you had Israelites who followed after the Greek customs, all right, maybe because they wanted to or out of fear for being put to death. Okay, that's how our people became Gentiles, man. That's how majority of our people became Gentiles, man. Okay, so even, okay, well, yeah, well, we don't have to really get that, I was going to go into, how, they were, sew back on their foreskin. That's also mentioned here in First Maccabees, the first chapter, but, we don't have to get it. You just read it yourself. Are you going to, well, here it is right here. It says they had surgery performed to hide their circumcision, abandoned the Holy Covenant, started associating Gentiles, and did all sorts of other evil things. All right, so they went so far, all right, as to sew on the foreskin back onto their rods, man. All right, and that's extreme wickedness right there. Okay, but I want to give one more scripture, all right, and going into this, all right, the Gentiles, man. All right, these Christians, they like to say that the Gentiles are heathens. No, the Gentiles are Israelite foreigners, man, and we just proved that through history, man. First Maccabees, the first chapter. All right. So I'm John 7:35, and I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but it's important to repeat yourself, man. All right, so you can get this information, in your, so the information can stick in your head, that much more. All right, it says, then said the Jews among themselves. All right, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. All right, and these Jews, all right, they were following after the customs. Okay, these Jews, they followed the law. All right, and even during the time of the first Maccabees, the first chapter, all right, you had a certain group of Israelites who didn't bow down. All right, who wouldn't stand to become Hellenized. All right, those people, all right, then had kids and kids, and they're the descendants of those who didn't become Hellenized, all right, and kept the customs. Okay, so these Jews, they followed the law. It says among themselves, whither will he go? That we shall not find him. It says, will he go unto the dispersed? All right, and who are the dispersed? You go into that word dispersed. The Greek is diaspora. All right, diaspora. It says a scattering, dispersion of Israelites dispersed among foreign nations. Right, and it's all throughout the scriptures how we've been scattered to the four corners of the earth, man. All right, James 1:1. All right, Ezekiel 36:19. Deuteronomy 28:64. All right, we were scattered to the four corners of the earth, man, amongst all the other nations. Okay, and it says, will he go into the dispersed? All right, so the Israelites that were dispersed amongst the four corners of the earth, okay, go into the dispersed among the Gentiles. All right, and this is talking about the heathens right here. The dispersed among the heathens, right? Like I said before, all right, the Israelites were dispersed among the heathens, all right, dispersed among the Gentiles. Okay, and it says, and teach the Gentiles and teach the Israelites, the Israelite foreigners. As I said before, the Israelite foreigners, all right, they were following after the heathen customs. All right, they were foreign to the Israelite way. All right, and they were following after the way of the heathens. That's how they became Gentiles. All right, they were Hellenized. You had Israelites that didn't even know that they were Israelites, basically just following after heathen customs, acting as a Greek, as a Roman, all these different things, man. Okay, so to teach the Gentiles, right, the Israelite foreigners. Okay, so that was pretty much it. I pretty much got everything off of there. The end of the story is that, all right, the Gentiles, that are talked about in the New Testament are Israelite foreigners. All right, depending on the context. Sometimes it may be actually talking about a heathen. All right, but in most cases, it's talking about Israelite foreigners. All right, who were foreign from the Israelite way, following after the heathen customs. All right, they may have had tattoos, may have long hair, all types of wickedness, man. Okay, they were acting as the heathen. Okay, but with that, I just wanted to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations unto the elect. Shalom.